Hello everybody, happy Monday. Hope everybody had a decent day. Let's see who's on. All right, let's refresh this. See if we can get, come on. Oh, there it is. All right. Here we go. And, oh, 4 people already. Go ahead and comment and tell me where you're watching from. Tonight, we're going to be starting with Zoo Globe. And Zoo Globe can be found on page 54 of the annual catalog. I'm going to be making a little baby card because when I think of spring, I think of little babies. So, hello Sharon. Hello Tracy.
Like, thumbs up, like, thumbs up.
All right.
Subscribe.
Yeah. All right, everyone. First things first. I have a bit of housekeeping. Just to let you all know that on Wednesday, Wednesday. Today's Monday. So on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, Wednesday, there will be a free shipping day. So if you have anything that you want to get, that's a great day to do it. Also, it's a good time if you have some things in the annual catalog that you want to pick up. Pick them up now before the retired list is released on March 24th. Because once that retired list is released, things will go fast and they may sell out before you can get what you're wanting. Keep in mind that all bundles will be going. They retire all bundles that are in the annual catalog, not the mini catalog, just the annual catalog. There will be a retired list for the annual catalog at the beginning of May. But you want to look to see if there's any of the bundles that you want in the back of the book here. Any stamp and die bundles that you might be interested in that you haven't picked up. Any of the punch bundles that you haven't picked up. Anything that's a bundle usually is not offered as a bundle again after the catalog in which it's released. So you'll want to be sure and pick those up. Also, all of the in colors for 2019 to 2021, anything that has those colors in it will be retiring because those colors will be retiring. So that is, so you can see here, that is the Rococo Rose Terracotta Tile. I don't know if you can see that. Let me move it. Rococo Rose Terracotta Tile, Pretty Peacock, Seaside Spray, Purple Posy, all the cardstock, all the ink refills, all the designer series papers. Generally, Stampin' Up! Does not carry over any of the designer series papers. Occasionally, they'll keep 1 or 2, but for the most part, all of those papers will be retiring. So this is a great time to stock up and get all of those last-minute annual catalog things before they hit the retired list and are sold out. Stampin' Up! Will guarantee stamp sets until about the 20th of April because they make those themselves, but any of the designer series papers, any of the dies, any of the punches, any of that kind of stuff, Stampin' Up! Does not manufacture themselves, so they will not guarantee them, and once they're gone, they're gone. So again, free shipping on March 17th. Go through the annual catalog and see if there's anything that you haven't gotten that you still want, especially if it's a bundle, and get that picked up now, because even if the stamp set and die carry over into the next annual catalog, they will not carry, most likely, as a bundle, and you will miss out on the savings price. Okay, so I just wanted to cover that. Does anybody have any questions on that? Jennifer, thank you for sharing. Hello, Laura and Jennifer. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with our project. Okay, so for this, we have the Zoo Globe stamp set, and it coordinates with the Snow Globe Scenes dies. Now, these are in the annual catalog, and they were originally released with the Still Scenes stamp set as a bundle. However, it's no longer a bundle, and the Snow Globe and base do coordinate with the Zoo Globe set, so you could pick those up. All right. We are not using the dies today, but I did want to make you aware, in case you were not, that there is a die that goes with that. All right, so for our card, we need a card base of Coastal Cabana, and this is a standard A2 card size, 5.5 by 8.5. We're going to score it at 4 1/4. This is just the way I prefer to do my cards. You can, of course, take your cardstock and cut it at 4 1/4 and score it at 5.5. It will work just as well. Then we're going to take a piece of the Playing with Patterns designer series paper. This is a pretty nice little set of papers. You get 48 sheets. You get 4 of each pattern. And you'll find that in the suite of products called Playing with Patterns. There's a whole suite. All right, so we're going to use a piece of that, and we're going to cut that. I haven't quite decided which one of these I'm going to use, so I've cut 2 pieces. We only need 1. I cut these 2 patterns, and this is what's on the reverse. This is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. Same with that. I have a piece of basic white cardstock that I cut with the stitched rectangles, and I used the 3rd to the largest one for that. Now, if you don't have the stitched rectangles, you can just cut your paper, and you'll want to cut it at 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Okay? My initial sample card, I did do that way. All right, so then I have a piece of crushed curry, which I have cut with the Tasteful Labels dies. This is a really good set of dies, and it's this die that I used just to make a banner. But of course, again, if you don't have this die set, you can just cut yourself a 1-inch piece of crushed curry cardstock. And then if you have a banner punch, use the banner punch to banner the ends, or you can banner the ends manually. Let me show you how you would do that. If you were going to banner those on your own, you would just take and cut a little slit up the center with your snips, and then go from the corner to your center snip, and from the corner to your center snip, and then that would banner your ends. I'm not very good at that manually, so I cheat with a die or my banner punch. The triple banner punch would work great for that too. All right, and then I just have a scrap of paper for the sentiment. So we're going to start by we're going to start by stamping. And this card is a lot of stamping. We're going to start with the tree from the Zoo Globe set. And we're going to put that down here in the middle. Oh man, did I lose a piece? No, it's right here. Is this it? I hope. Nope. I lost a piece of my DSP already. Oh, how frustrating. That's been my day, you guys. Because now I'm seeing it's not there and it's not die cut. And I had it all done. Alright, so now we're going to stamp the little kangaroo mama and baby. We're going to put that right here. And then we're going to get the giraffe, which seems to have disappeared as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, here he is. I was thinking that was a sentiment, but it's a giraffe. All right, so we're going to stamp this down. I know I'm a mess today. It's okay. All right. While we have that out, let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment, which comes from the Itty Bitty Greetings stamp set. If I were you, I would pick this one up. It's a double stamp set. It comes in 2 cases. I've put mine into 1 case. But it has 32 stamps and a huge variety of sentiments. And definitely I would pick it up if you really want it, because this has been out for several years now and very well could be on the retired list. You'll find it in the annual catalog. All right, so we're going to stamp Sweet Baby right there like that. And then I'm going to take my classic label punch, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to punch that out. Center that up. Punch that out. And then I'm going to take it and put it back into the punch, lining up these little, the top and the bottom there. And then I'm going to give it a punch, put a banner on my end. I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing on this side. Just making that little thing. And now I have my banner ready to go. All right, so I can set that aside. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and color these. And there's quite an assortment of Stampin' Blends we're going to be using. Abby, can you look to see if you can find a piece that looks like this?
A white piece?
No, it's this color. See if you can figure out what I did with it.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, it looks like this, but not quite. That's upside down. And I had it all cut, and I don't know where it went. All right.
Okay, I'll look for it.
So these are our Stampin' Blends. I'm just going to put these colors out so you can see what we have. We have light and dark crumb cake. Light soft suede. I'm going to use the light cinnamon cider. Just a tiny bit of the petal pink. All right, so I'm going to start with the light soft suede on the giraffe. And I'm just going to color this in quickly. And color the spots with the soft suede. And then I'm going to color the rest of the giraffe in Light Mango Melody. Oh, thank you. Bless you, child.
It was under all of this. How can you not find anything?
All right, so we've got the giraffe colored. Oh, you know what we forgot? We need to put our little koala in the tree.
Ow.
So we're going to take our little koala bear, and I find that to put the koala bear in here, I do better if I turn this on its side. And there he is. Now we have our little baby koala. All right. So we're going to take the soft suede again. We're going to color up the tree trunk and the branches. I'm not doing any fancy coloring. Just coloring it in on there. And for my little koala bear, well, let's go ahead and color in my tree first. I'll give the koala a little bit more time to... I'm using light mint macaron to start. And I'm going to color in the whole tree area here. So can anybody think of any stamp sets from the annual catalog that they haven't picked up yet that they might be interested in for... Hello, Josh. That they might be interested in for the free shipping day? I will post a host code if your orders are under $150. Please use the host code for this month. Of course, if they're over 150, you don't use the host code because then you will earn Stampin' rewards. All right, so we've got that. And then I'm going to go in with my koala. And I'm going to color him in the light smoky slate. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of light cinnamon cider on his back. And a little bit along his head here, and I'm going to color in those ears. And then I'm going to go back and blend those together. All right. And then I'm going to take my color lifter and I'm just going to go in on the belly and the chest here just to lighten that belly area up a little bit. Okay, so for my kangaroos, I'm going to put a little bit of light petal pink right here in the ear. Door. And then I'm going to color this in light. Crumb cake. And I think my light crumb cake, I've got an order to place myself because I have some Stampin' Blends that are running out. Oh, and if anybody has a coupon for a magnetic plate from the Cut and Boss, you need to get that used before the end of the month, before your coupon expires if you haven't already used it. And that would be me. But there might be somebody else. I'm going to just take just a little bit of dark crumb cake in a few areas here where there would be some shadows. And then I'm going to go back with the light crumb cake and I'm going to blend that in. I'm just going to keep going over that until I don't have any more harsh lines. And this is where you can tell my light crumb cake is a little bit on the dry side. It's not blending quite as smoothly as it would if it were a little bit wetter. All right, so that's that. All the coloring is done. Take and get those out of the way. Uh-oh. That came off. Snap that on to make sure I get a good tight seal. Okay, so now I took a piece of the Playing with Patterns Designer Series paper, this sheet right here, and I took the grass from the Special Day dies and I ran that through my die cut machine. Do my Stampin' Cut in a Boss. This stamp set does have a stamp that has grass, but I didn't care for that look. So I decided to go this route. So I'm just going to take and snip this off at the ends. And then I'm going to take and run a bead of glue right underneath these guys, all the way across. And then I'm going to set this down. Like so. Give that a good press. Then I'm going to grab my paper snips. I'm going to snip that off. All right. And this is what we have thus far. Okay. So now we need to decide if we're going to put this on this color. Okay. Hello, Cynthia. How are you? Thank you for joining, everybody. Or we can put it on this piece. So please tell me what you think. I'll wait here for just a minute to see what you want. If you want the blue and green stripe, the narrow stripes, or if you think we should use the thicker stripes, and it's going to go on a piece of Coastal Cabana here, either way. So what do you prefer? We have this, or we have this. Thick or thin? Let me know. The wide stripe, Tracy says. That's one for the wide. Thicker, Jennifer says. Any others? Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and go with the thicker then. So I am going to put some Stampin' Seal on the back of my focal image. And I am going to place this at an angle, just like that. And then I'm going to add it to my card base. And I'm going to put that at an angle. Like so. I'm going to grab this little banner piece. And I'm going to grab the little leaf image that also comes from Zoo Globe. And I'm going to ink that up in Mango Melody. And then I'm just going to stamp it randomly on my piece. 3 is a good number. And then we're going to add this to the top of our Designer Series paper. Like so. And then we're going to get some mini dimensionals. I'm going to put a couple of those on the back of our sentiment strip. And we're just going to set that across there like that. Almost finished. And we're going to add some of the butterfly gems. These will definitely be retiring. These are in the retiring colors. So if you want those, you'll need to get those picked up. And we are going to take the smaller ones and put a little Calypso Coral one up there. And then grab another little Calypso Coral one and we'll put it over here. And then I'm going to take one of the purple posies because we have purple posy in our paper. Okay, I'm going to chase that butterfly all over the place. And then I'm just going to place that right there. Okay, now the final okay, what did I do with it? All right. Oh, it's right here. Nope, I got it. Then I'm going to take a piece of white baker's twine. I'm going to tie a tiny little bow. And then to even up your bows, just grab them together on the ribbons there and cut them both at the same time, and then they'll be even. And we're going to add that with a mini glue dot. I'm going to take our little mini glue dot and we're going to roll this into a little ball. And we're going to put this right here. center there. And we're going to add our little bow. And there's the first card. All right. Okay, let's go ahead. We're gonna pick up our things. And we're gonna move on to card number 2. That's 8:18, half an hour. I'm not doing too bad. Do need to, I didn't get the inside done on that card. I was working on that right up until, so what I'm gonna do with the inside is I'm just going to take, there's a little elephant in this set. And we're going to grab those. I'm going to clean this off because I need the blocks. We'll set these over here for just a second. Grab our Memento black ink again. I'm going to put this little elephant down. And stamp those balloons just like so. And then we're going to grab an envelope. And I think we're going to do the same thing on the envelope. Just put that little elephant. And those little balloons. And then I'll color those in later. All right, but then you'll have a matching set. All right. Okay, so that's the first project. I'll go ahead and leave this so you can look at it. I'm going to clean these stamps off really quickly. Put those away. Ooh, almost lost that piece. Choo, choo, choo. Let's switch that out for that one. All right, I'll throw these in a stamp case real fast. All right, almost there. Okay, now we can move on to our next project. Abby, will you grab me that tote over there, please?
Swimming away.
Okay. And you can move that tote over there. Thanks, little assistant. Appreciate that.
Are you glad that I'm here?
Yes, I am. All right. So this next one we're going to do, it's kind of a little late for a St. Patty's Day card, but we're going to do it anyway.
Okay.
And I'm actually using quite a few stamp sets. But the basis for our, we're going to use the So Lucky to Know You from Oval Occasions. And the main stamp and die bundle is the Snailed It Stamp and Die bundle, and these are in the January to June mini catalog. and so is Oval Occasions. And then I'm going to use, I needed a stem for the inside sentiment, so I'm using Pretty Perennials. I found a stem. And for the inside, I'm going to use this little heart from Special Someone. But you can decorate the inside however you choose. So let's get started with this one. Here's our stamps. I've already done some of the coloring and die cutting, but we're going to work on the technique first. This is the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to grab a piece of Whisper White cardstock, or basic white cardstock, that is cut at 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And you're going to need block E. You need a Stampin' spritzer with some water, some basic water. And then we're going to use the Stampin' Right markers. And we're using Soft Seafoam, Just Jade, Shaded Spruce, and Pretty Peacock. Okay, so what we're gonna do, you'll also need a paper towel for this.
Which I got you one.
Okay, so to start with, we're going to get our white paper out of the way so it doesn't get ink where we don't want it. All the rest of this stuff so it doesn't get all splattered. All right. So we're going to start with some soft seafoam, and on our block, we're just going to take the soft seafoam Stampin' Right marker, and we're going to use the brush end. And this is going to be hard to see because it's really light. So we're just going to scribble here, scribble here, scribble here. And then we're going to get the Just Jade. And I'm going to pick this up so I can kind of see where I scribbled before. But because it's a darker color, if I go over what I've already done a little bit, it's just fine. Okay, so I'm going to go little Just Jade and a little Just Jade. Okay. Then I'm going to take my Shaded Spruce. And again, I'm using the brush tip. And I'm going to scribble some color on. And I'm trying to meet up with the other colors. Okay. And then last, I'll take my darkest color, my Pretty Peacock. And I'm just going to scribble that in there. Now I'm taking a look to make sure that I've gotten everything. And I think I have. So here I'm going to take I'm going to move everything out of the way. I'm going to take the water. I'm going to take my little spritzer. And I'm going to hold this up. And I'm going to make sure that I'm pointing my tip down. And I'm just going to spritz that until it has a little bit of bubble. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my paper towel. And I'm going to put my piece of cardstock on there. And your cardstock needs to be either just slightly larger than your block or the same size as. And we're just going to take and set that down. And then we're going to set this aside for a minute. Okay. All right. Now we'll get the rest of our parts and pieces. So now we have a card base of shaded spruce. Okay. Actually, I'm going to go ahead. Let me get rid of this. Or at least fold it in half. Okay, there we go. So we have a standard A2 card base. And we can go ahead and fold this and burnish it on the score line. Oops. All right, and then we're going to take a piece of we have a piece of Forever Greenery designer series paper. That's this one in the annual catalog. Okay. And this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. This is going to be a landscape card like the previous card that we did. I seem to be in landscape mode today. And we're just going to add this. And we are not going to do anything fancy, so we can go and add this right now to our card base. Thank you, guys. I'm glad you love that card. If you go ahead and give me some hearts, that helps the Facebook algorithm, if you don't mind. And we're just going to put that on our card base. All right. Then we're going to take, this is a scrap piece of Whisper White, or Basic White, I guess. We're going to stamp on this scrap piece of Basic White. And let's get that stamping done. I'm going to take the snail with the luggage from the Snailed It stamp set. And we're going to put that down on our scrap piece, like so. We're going to set that aside for just a minute. And then we're going to grab that So Lucky to Know You from the Oval Occasions. And we're going to stamp that in shaded spruce. On this taller piece. Scrap piece. We're going to try that again. I'm feeling like I might need to ink this, so I'm going to just tap it all over. Now, as long as I don't rock it, I should be good. I got a little bit of ink on the side. All right, there we go. That looks good. Oops, sorry. Bumped the camera. All right, so then we're going to add, there is a little tiny shamrock in the Oval Occasion set, and we're going to use that. But actually, before we do that, we need to die cut this out so we don't get too high or too low. All right, so let's go ahead and color this, and then we'll do all the die cutting at once. All right, and we're going to go ahead and lift that, and I'm going to show you this piece that we had. So this is how our Stampin' Right marker and watercolor technique worked, okay? Just so you can see that. Let me go ahead and put that back on the paper towel so it'll dry a little bit and dry a little flatter. All right, so we're going to start with soft seafoam. Should have the light and dark. Okay, light and dark. We've got light and dark Pretty Peacock. and the light and dark, just shaded spruce and just jade. Okay, so we're going to start with soft seafoam, and I'm going to color in my little snail here. And I know the soft seafoam is a little bit difficult to see, so it's pretty light. I'm just going to go around the outside, and then I'm going to take my brush tip and fill it in. Okay, and I'm going to take the dark seafoam, and I'm just going to put a shadow in the areas right here at the tip of his tail and right along his body. Then I'm going to go back and blend that all together. Then I'm going to go to the light just jade. I'm going to go on the snail shell here. I'm just going to go around the outside, and then I'm going to fill that in. I'm going to turn my paper so I can get a better angle. Then I'm going to go back with the dark shaded spruce. And I'm just going to fill in the stripes. Okay. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of the dark just jade just around the center here and up at the body, just for a little bit of shading. Then I'm going to go back and blend that in. Okay. There we go. Then I'm going to take my light and dark pretty peacock, and I'm going to color in the first present. Put just a little bit of shading in the top corner here and along that edge. And underneath that smaller gift. Blend that in really quick. And finally, I'm going to take the dark soft seafoam and the light just jade. I'm going to color in the smallest gift, and then I'm going to go over the top of that with the light just jade just to give it a different shade. Okay, and you can see the difference in the color between this just jade and then the mix of the soft seafoam with the jade. All right, so the last thing that we need to do with our little snail is to add some Wink of Stella, because he needs to be sparkly. All right, so that's done. So then we can take and die cut what we need to die cut, okay? So from this piece, once it dries, we would cut the postage rectangle or square from the snail dies, and decide where you want it and cut it. I'm going to go ahead and let this one finish drying. I prepared one in advance that I'm going to cut with those same colors. We're going to cut our snail with its coordinating dies. Okay, and then we're going to cut a stitched rectangle from our sentiment. So let me grab the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and we'll run those through real quick. Okay, so we need plate 1 and plate 2, and I'm going to put my rectangle on here. Okay, and I'm going to grab a piece of Post-it tape to hold that into place. And I'm going to put my top acrylic plate on. And I'm going to run that through. And then we have that. I'm going to grab my postage square and I'm going to put that on and put my top plate on, and then I'm going to run that through. And finally, we have our snail. Okay. And I actually did cut one of these earlier, but I'm here, so I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, what did I do with that cut? With the plate? Okay, well, there it is, right there. It's been one of those days. I set stuff down and then I can't see where I put it. And my area is not really that big of a mess. Okay, so there's our little snail. And we have all of our pieces. And we're ready. Okay, so we're going to take our So Lucky to Know You. I'm going to take our Just Jade ink. And we're going to ink this up. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put another one right there. And another one there. And then I'm going to go up here.
8:41.
With two more.
8:38.
All right.
It says 8:38.
So this piece is all ready. And now we are ready to start assembling. I think we've got it here. So here's our card base. I'm going to set this here. And this is going to go like this. And I kind of cased this design from someone else and changed a few things, but okay, so this is how we're going to do this. Just going to put Stampin' Seal here. Center that, top to bottom. And we're going to do the same with our postage. just going to put this at a diagonal. Like so. And then we're going to take Stampin' Dimensionals. Put them on the back of our snail, making sure that they're not going to be seen. Put this one down. And that's going to go right there. And for the finishing touch, we're going to grab the 2020 to 2022 in color enamel dots. These are great because they add a little something extra, but they don't add a lot of bulk because they're very flat. I'm going to put one up here. Put one over here. And a third one in the Just Jade down here. Okay, and there is the outside of our card finished. So for the inside of our card, I think I used the inside of our card for the piece. We're going to use this. We're going to make sure we do this in landscape mode because earlier when I did it, it didn't work out very well. Okay, we're going to take that heart from the special someone, special someone. I'm going to get the Just Jade ink, a scratch piece of paper. We're going to stamp off, and we're going to stamp that in the center, stamp off again, stamp to the side, we're going to turn it, stamp off again, we're going to put a cluster of 3, and then from the Pretty Perennials, we're going to take that stem. You could use whatever stem you have from whatever stamp set you have on hand. And we're just going to put that in the middle there. And then for the final, we're going to take May the Luck of the Irish Go Double for You. And this sentiment comes from A Wish for Everything. This is another one of those 2 stamp cases sets. It has 38 different sentiments. And you can also get coordinating dies. So it has outside and inside sentiments. Okay. And we're just going to take and ink that up in some Memento Black. And stamp that right across our clover. Just like that. Okay. And then we're going to add that to the inside of our card. And then to finish off the envelope, I took the You've Got Mail and stamped that on the outside, and then did the Happy Mail enclosed from the same Snailed It stamp set to make a matching envelope. All right, so there are our projects for tonight. Let me clear this out of the way. Abby, will you hand me that other one over there? The other card, please. And
this one or the other one?
that one.
This one?
Yep. All right. So here are the projects that we made tonight. I hope you enjoyed those. If you did, give me a thumbs up or some hearts. Oh, Tracy, thank you.
What did
Yes, you should definitely get the Forever Fern bundle before it retires. That's for
say?
sure. For sure. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you very much. I'm glad you guys all like that. All right. Okay, so as a reminder, free shipping on March 17th. That will go from midnight Mountain Time, so 12 a.m. Mountain Time, which will be 11 o'clock our time, until 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time or 10:59 here. So I wouldn't wait that long because there could be people doing the last minute thing and the computer system could get bogged down and you could miss out. So I will put the host code in the description of this video when I finish tonight, so you can grab that host code if you need it, or you can text me at 971-237-3087 and I will send it to you. And if there's nothing else, thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you for those who are watching on the replay. I appreciate that. And I will see you again next Monday night at 7:45 for another Facebook Live. Good night, everybody.
Where's Jennifer? Oh, Jennifer's right here.